So I saw openings for schools in UK and I applied in November. The offer came in December and I started off the visa application. And by January, the visa came and I traveled. And here I am in UK.
How are you doing? Welcome to this particular interview. Today I will be interviewing Dr. Caleb, who just relocated abroad. Woo! So Dr. Caleb relocated via the study abroad route. He worked with Vantage Migration a while ago, and now Viola, he's gone, right?
Good
Hello.
day. You look very awesome.
Thank you very much. What can I say? It's the UK weather.
It's
Good evening,
okay.
Dr. Linda. Good
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today, okay?
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, good. And first of all, I love to say that your doctor, your medical doctor.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Where did you study? I'm curious.
At Babalola University.
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. It's not always that I come across doctors who have decided to relocate via study abroad. And that's really something that is unique because some people, they may just maybe they want to practice and they wait to do all the exams. And this goes for I would say healthcare professionals in general. The most popular route is like routes that involve you having to go practice. Meanwhile, even if you still want to practice, you can relocate to a country via the study abroad route, and you can still take any of the exams you need to take, right? And start practicing. So going through the study abroad route does not prevent someone from practicing if they want to, but surely that's another pathway that healthcare professionals could actually consider. So I'm happy you're a pioneer. That's great.
Yes, ma'am. I'm much happier.
Go again. What did you say?
I said I'm much happier.
Oh, tell us more. Maybe introduce yourself, and you could just tell us more about your relocation journey story. I always love to hear what were the things that happened behind the scene.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. My name is Caleb. I'm in the UK currently, but UK was not my first choice.
Okay.
Canada was my first choice. And so, Dr. Linda, if you can remember, if you remember the whole ordeal behind my migration to Canada and how it did not go through. And so I thought that was the end of the world. But then I picked up myself, thanks to you, and then I began school search again. My application to Canada was very late. I got the admission, but then there wasn't enough time to process the visa. And so when the visa had come, the school had started. It was almost a month and a half into the session, and so I couldn't resume. And so they only have one entry, which is for fall, September. And so I had the option of joining another school January this year or waiting till September to go to that same school in Canada. And so I quickly picked myself up, and then, referring back to my notes from this course, I started checking for schools. I was like, no, this can't be me. This can't be my story. I refuse to accept this. And so I saw openings for schools in UK, and I applied in November. The offer came in December, and I started off the visa application. And by January, the visa came and I traveled, and here I am in UK.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Congratulations. Okay, so some of the things I picked, I'm going to ask you more questions about your story, so that we'll talk about them. One of the things I picked was how maybe especially what happens when an admission comes in late. I see some people face that problem, right? Like you've applied. Let's say even sometimes you see somebody will get an admission June. Maybe the school self did not even reason it like this person is an international student. It's going to take them
Yes.
time to get their visa, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that
Yes.
admission comes in late. A lot of people will feel stuck. A lot of
Yes.
people will feel stuck. But instead of feeling stuck, you quickly adapted to the situation.
I refused to accept the fate because it was not my fate. I refused to accept that current situation. You know, I was feeling down. I was feeling sad that, oh, I could not travel September last year. And I was like, but something could still be done. And so I began school search. I started the entire process from the beginning. And I started searching for schools. And I saw that, oh, some schools in UK have openings for January this year. And so I started application. And I got the offer. And then I started the visa application. And luckily for me, visa application for UK doesn't take as long as that of Canada.
Yeah.
And so in less than, I did the standard visa. And so it was going to be 15 working days. And so it came out in 15 working days and I traveled.
Yeah. That's amazing because that's something a lot of people will not consider. I see some people write me like, oh, in fact, your own self is even that the admission came out, but it was like the timing was not right. Some people, a school put them on waiting list.
Oh, wow.
And they will wait. Waiting list means you don't even have admission.
Yes, you don't even know if at the end of the waiting,
when they start considering whether they will consider you or not.
Exactly.
And like out of so many schools in this world, one school puts the person on waiting list and they will sit tight and wait. I'm like, what? Stand up from there.
And yeah, sorry. Let me also point out to this. Whilst when I could not travel to Canada, I currently have pending applications in 3 different universities in Canada. So I also submitted 3 different applications to different schools in Canada and also this one in UK. And so this one came out, I got the offer. In fact, UK was not at the top of my list originally. So when this offer came, I was like, wow, this is just too good to be true. I applied for the visa, it came out, and then I traveled.
Wow.
And so if those schools eventually give me admission, I'm already studying my master's here in UK now.
You see.
So I explored different options instead of settling for just one.
Flexibility. That's another point. Flexibility, because okay, I'm going to tell you the conversation that went on between me and one of Vantage Migration students. Okay. So I was like, first of all, I encourage people to be flexible because it's like, you know how I would say permanent interest, no permanent routes. Meaning, identify what your interest is. Some people say, okay, I want to relocate abroad to do something. And I understand that some people, they may have some specific reasons why they have to go to a place. Of course, that is their situation, right? But for so many people, it's not as if there is anybody waiting for them on the other side. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a spouse in Ontario. You want to go abroad. It's going to be difficult for you to start going to US. Like Ontario, Canada. It's going to be difficult for you to start going to UK. Even if you're coming to Canada, it will be difficult for you to start going to another province. You see? Now, for that person, there are legit reasons why they have to focus on a particular city in a particular country, and that is their situation. But for 90% of the other persons that are still making this kind of mistake, you end up seeing that there is really nothing tying them down. Maybe they read about that city.
Yes.
News, and they're like, whoa, this city is so cool.
It's the case.
Apply to schools in that city. I'm not saying you should remove the city, but apply to other schools.
Exactly.
Same goes for country. You apply to Canada, apply to UK, apply to US even, and any other place you want to go to. It's always good to remain flexible in life. Some people don't know that I wanted to go to US all the time I was growing up because I knew people in US. I had even visited US while I was in school.
Okay.
I visited US while I was in school, to cut that story short. But my dad used to go to US and come back. So my own was, hey, US. So even when I was searching for schools those days, I used to look at Harvard. There's this one, Bloomberg, Public Health, something like all the school search, everything has been US.
US.
I only decided to go to Canada at the almost couple of months before I did my application, because somebody else advised me that, okay, look at this. If you say you are interested in this, that, check this country. It may be a better option than this one.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that people don't go to US or people don't go to UK. Or that was just somebody's advice, and I listened to it, and then I went to Canada. But my whole point is that was me being flexible there. So for some people,
very true.
They'll just be like, Dr. Linda, I want to come to that your Canada. I'm coming to your city. I'll be like, sister, me too. I want you to be in my city, but please apply to different countries, apply to different schools, apply to different provinces. You may choose a school. The school may not choose you. It's like dating a girl. You like her so much, you want her to be your wife. and you propose, she say no. They will not say, I will go back. Again, when you're coming back for the second proposal, she's with 4 children, which makes it harder for her to even say yes. So you may like a girl very well. You want to date her. Let's even leave proposal. You want to date her, she say no. You will not kill yourself.
Yes.
You look for the next best girl in town. You get what I mean? Even outside town, these days people use social media to find wife. I was in Benin. My husband there was in Lagos. And it was social media we met. So the whole point is that look for whatever that suits you, irrespective of where the place is. Permanent interest, no permanent route. So about the discussion I was having with a student, I was telling her that, okay, apply to these schools, also apply to some UK schools. She said, no, Dr. Linda, me, I'm very good with waiting, I'm very good with waiting. I said, really? Tell me more. She said, when she was going to university, she applied to Unilag, University of Lagos in Nigeria, that she waited 3 years before University of Lagos gave her admission, which means she will apply, she did not get the admission, she will reapply, she did not get the admission. She told me she waited 3 years.
Other opportunities, but she chose to wait.
Yes. So she was using that as a backing to say she's very patient, she can wait. And I told her, and I said, okay, I hear you, wait, let me ask you a question. And I said, okay, this is what you did that time, right? She said, yes. I said, there's this saying, I think it was from Paul in the Bible that said, when I was a child, I behaved like a child. Now I'm an adult, I behave like an adult.
Yes.
And I said, okay, wait, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
And I said, let me ask you a question. Imagine that there is maybe a cousin of yours now who just graduated from school, from secondary school, and want to go to university. Then that cousin tells you that I've applied to Unilag. Unilag is the only school I've applied to, and I'm ready to wait, irrespective of whenever they are going to give me admission. If they don't give me admission, I'm not going to university. And I said, what will you advise your cousin? She started laughing. I said, no, don't laugh. Tell me, I want to hear your answer. Will you tell your cousin, stay, reapply every year? Because I'm sure the first time she started waiting, she didn't really know that it would take 3 years. She probably thought, if I don't get it, she waited, she did not get it. Her only option was to reapply. And at that point, she was not praying hard. Then, before you know it, she ended up not getting it again. And she felt that she was too deep into this matter. Her only option was to reapply before she now got it. I don't think if at the beginning she knew that it would take her 3 consecutive years, that she would have opted to wait at that point. So when I asked her that question, she started laughing that she would not tell her cousin to wait. She would tell her cousin to explore the options. I smiled and I said, okay, thank you so much. Maybe when I was in your shoes, I would have done what you want to do now, which is apply to only one school and wait. But knowing what I know now, I would not advise you to do this, to do that. It's better to spread your options. She said, Belinda, I hear you, I'm going to spread my options. So you can choose a school and the school will not choose you. You can choose a country and the country will not choose you, But I always believe that, God is going to always choose the best for us. So it's always good to remain flexible, which is exactly what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope that people emulate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is, when I arrived UK, and then seeing the settings and interacting with the people here. And when I called my family back in Nigeria, I said, see, if you are planning to travel abroad, forget everything you think you know. Just forget everything, whatever it is you think you know. Hearsays from people, this is this and this is that. Until you get there, you never really can tell what that place is like. And I think that's the fear most people experience in trying to explore other options. They are stuck with what they've heard from people about a particular place. For example, they've heard that okay, Canada is good with immigrants, and then they're oh yes, it's Canada, and then they're not open to other options. So, but I feel people should be free, flexible, like you said. Get to those places first, and don't let your judgment be based on what someone like. Don't be too rigid. Be flexible. Be open to options. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Exactly. Even if it's Canada, don't apply to just one school because you have a family friend there. Apply to different schools in different counties. So that's just it.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, all thanks to God, of course, and thanks to you, because the knowledge I gathered from that and that was 2 years ago, and that knowledge served me last 2 years, last year, and even this year. I mean, I'm grateful that I took that master class. I'm very grateful I took that master class. Thank you very much for calling me.
Thank you so
Thank
much. I'm funny
you.
enough. Oh God, I remember now that you said 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I can still remember how we were offering our masterclass card compared to now. Hey, compared
Yes.
to now, it's like the way to describe it is like tricycle. Keke.
Yes.
Tricycle
Yes.
versus Lexus.
Are you serious? And you can imagine with the little I got then, I have gotten this far. Well,
because there's so much, we keep updating the course, so much has been
yes.
added, so many options. So I just said 2 years ago, it just brought back memories. So in fact, seriously, our course 2 years ago versus now is like tricycle. Yes, it used to work. It used to drive people from where they are going to another place, that kind of stuff. But right now, it's
Yes.
like we're offering Lexus because exact rates. Seriously. But
Yes.
this is amazing. I'm very happy to hear about your story. And
Yes,
for
ma'am.
example, do you know when I was coming to Canada, I didn't know that students could stay back. I didn't know. I didn't have an idea as to how. I didn't even know. Like it was not even on my mind. So sometimes you don't. There are a lot of things you will not know in a country that happens in a
Yes.
country until you have gotten there. Just like you mentioned, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes we are put in a box by the stories that people have told us, which they are telling us from their own point of view. Because let me give you an
Yes. Your own
example.
personal experiences.
Somebody may not have gone to school, and they are
Yes.
telling you that if you come to this country, now does mean you go to throw away. Meanwhile, you that they are telling you're a BSc holder, you're a doctor, you're an optometrist.
Yes.
Your situation and their situation are not the same, but they may not even realize it because they've never been in your situation.
Yes.
All they've known is all the things that were available to them because of their level of education or
Yes,
how
that's
they
very
came.
true.
Somebody said, let's say somebody may even have gone to a country with illegally, right?
Yes.
Which we know that
Yes.
that method is very popular among a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, no matter how good a country is, let me give you an example. You see the way they say Canada is good, Canada is good. Hey, meet somebody in Canada with illegal papers, like without papers. When
Yes.
they give you their story, you will not know that it's Canada they live in. Their story is like Jesus, what they used to call that thing when Jesus was carrying cross and he was, that process. That's
Yes,
like what their story is. I think they are carrying everybody's sin on their back. Like you will see them, they will stay. Like somebody can tell you, "Oh, I've stayed in Canada for 5 years." Like there is nothing to show for it.
Yeah, there's no freedom. They migrated illegally, so they cannot move freely on the streets.
They can't move freely. They can't do normal jobs. They have to look for a job where you can do that job without papers, which usually those kind of jobs are also illegal jobs.
And even the pay they get is so meager. Not the minimum wage.
Because the people take advantage of the person, because the person can never go to the law. Like you can never report them. Maybe they'll pay you cash. So they suffer so much. You won't believe what their suffering looks like. So now, what somebody knows is that I have a cousin relocated to Canada. Do you know how your cousin came to Canada? No, you don't know. So now, when you talk with your cousin over the phone, your cousin tells you about the suffering in that place.
Exactly.
Your cousin will not be coming to rub it on your face that, oh, I came here illegally. That is why my life is turned upside down. Just like this country. And they will face a lot of discrimination, obviously, because of their situation. They will face a lot of things. They're always running from police. They always do this. They must hold their passport. You know, like the lifestyle is very different.
Very different.
We are hearing that person's story. We don't know the genesis or how it started or why their situation is like that. So you almost never know what a country can offer until you are there yourself. It doesn't mean all the stories are not correct. That's not my point. But my point is your situation and that person's situation may be very different.
Very different.
I always talk about finding the Joshua and Caleb. Hey, your name is Caleb. Oh my God, that's so always. There's this story. Sorry, I know Bible stories a lot. There's this story that the Israelites, they were going to a place and they sent 10 people to go and survey the land, right?
Yes,
8 came back saying, those people, hey, if we go there, they'll kill us, they'll do the blah, 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 blah. Then the other 2 came back, Joshua and Caleb. That's your name, man. Joshua and Caleb was like,
I actually remind myself of that story throughout my journey. I was like, I don't care what people say. Others might say it was difficult. There are so many challenges, but I am going with the mindset that it's going to be easy for me. I'm expatriate mindset like Dr. Linda taught me. I am not going with the immigrant mindset. And so, to God be the glory. Everything was actually very easy. The challenge is that I refused to accept what I heard, but I've heard it. And so it was somewhere in my subconscious, some of the things I heard. But then all through the process of coming to UK, I did not experience those things. And I was like, I thought they said this would happen. I thought they said this would happen. But then it was different. It was very different.
And you being a doctor is even like you have extra advantage because so I have a student that went to UK. She read either medical laboratory, I think. I can't remember vividly. Medical laboratory or biomedical science, something like that. Biomedical science. So she now, like, other people are talking about the normal type of job they are doing, But this lady was telling me how she's earning lots and lots of money because I think it's medical laboratory that she read, I think. So she started working somewhere where they were doing like COVID testing. They pay her so much per hour. So much. I think you're saying about 70 pounds per hour.
There are lots of opportunities out here if you know how to look. And just how during the masterclass you're telling us that if you know how to look, there are so many schools that offer scholarships. It's the same thing. If you have the knowledge, if you know how to look, there are lots of opportunities. There are different jobs you could do that will fetch you a lot of money if you know how and where to look. That's the truth. And so I'm not even surprised that she's earning that much. There are people that also did or that also studied the same course she studied and they're not earning that much because they don't have the knowledge she has.
True.
Yes, ma'am.
So when she told me, I was really shocked. She was the first person I saw that was telling me that, right? So, and she was telling me how she was working towards getting a job with NHS. NHIS, I think that's the so because I think they absorb a lot of healthcare people, like people that study healthcare and all that. So why some people are like, I'm not able to get a job that will allow me to stay back after this is minus the 2 years that UK gives. She have already figured out how to get her her work visa to stay permanent. I was like,
Exactly.
and I think her master's was ending this December also. Like she already had all those things figured out. Oh my God, I was really very impressed when she was just
Right,
but the whole
right,
point is,
right from the
yeah.
right from the very first day I stepped foot in UK, I said, now I have a year to do this public health program, and so I have started planning ahead. I do not want a situation whereby, oh, I'm done, then I'm struggling, I'm thinking what next. I have started thinking of what next from now. I don't necessarily have to wait till the end of the program to start thinking of what next. I have started thinking of what next from now. And then thank God I have some friends around in the health sector as well. And I've started, having conversations. And then they're like, well, your program is ending next. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's ending next year, but it's never too early
Yeah,
to
be
start up
proactive.
something. Yes, it's never too early to start up something. And so it's very, very commendable. It's a good
Nice.
step.
That's
Yes,
awesome. Let me ask you, like, I know, of course, the masterclass, there are many things to take away, but for you, what was the thing that you got from the masterclass that helped you the most throughout your journey?
So many things, Dr. Linda. So many things. So many things. The most important thing is starting your application on time. I cannot overemphasize on that. Start the school application on time. Even if the visa is supposed to be just 1 day, if you do not start on time, there are chances that the person is going to miss out on the opportunity by just a day. And so I cannot overemphasize on how important it is to start school application on time and apply every knowledge that is being dissipated during the program. Every step is important. Do the school. Now, I still have my book where I wrote down the schools step, like you told us, the C list, B list, A list, like that. When we started, I was like, do I necessarily have to write? I started writing, I started ruling out, and building up my main list. Now I understand why Dr. Linda was so insistent on us getting a pen and a book and writing. And so there's every step is important to me. Every step is important, but particularly starting on time, because that was the challenge I had with going to Canada. I did not start the application on time, and so the visa affected me. So starting the application on time is really important, and following every step to the letter would yield good results. Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Linda.
Thank you. Let me see my question. Yeah, for people that are watching us today, maybe specifically, let me say for people in healthcare, any form of healthcare, or people going for public health, or it doesn't have to be public care, anybody, healthcare person at all that is watching us today, what's the advice for them?
What is my advice for healthcare practitioners out there? There are spaces, there are voids to be filled. The reason why I chose public health is I don't see myself, going to the hospital every day doing the normal 9 to 5 routine. I want to be going around, going to communities, speaking to people, traveling, attending conferences. That's kind of life I want for myself. And that was why I chose public health. So, and with the recent pandemic, starting from the Ebola virus and then down to COVID-19, public health specialists are needed out there. And so if you are in the health field, your role is important. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let them tell you that there are so many doctors there. Why did you choose to study medicine? Or there are so many nurses. Why did you? Your role is important. Everything you are doing is important. You are needed there because there are so many areas, communities, underserved communities that do not even have a doctor or a nurse. So whatever you are studying is very important. You are needed out there. And so don't let anybody make you feel less.
What about if they are looking to travel abroad? Maybe this one I'll say maybe general advice for the person that is watching us now, who is inspired by your story and they are thinking of their own study abroad journey.
You can make
advice for the person?
You can. It is easy. It is doable. It is possible. Well, initially it might seem difficult, but once if you follow every step, if you do not miss out on any module from Dr. Linda's teaching, and you follow every step to Linda, you will find out that it is easy, it is doable, and it is possible. And trust me, when you travel abroad and then you look back, you see that it was worth every of your time. Trust me. Just put in the work. Put in the work. It is possible. Don't I mean, I don't know how best to it is, but just you're going to be stressed initially when you start because the knowledge is new. It's not something we are used to. And thank God for someone like Linda that has brought this knowledge on a platter of gold. And so if you apply that knowledge, it is possible. It is very possible. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking our time. Thank you for taking out time to come to share your story with all of us and to keep inspiring us. My desire is that the person that is watching us today, that the person will listen to your story and it will inspire them to take action. Like one of the things you mentioned, to be able to start on time. Yes. Sometimes I see some people, they will be like, hey, Dr. Lee, somebody messaged me. This is like the person messaged me February. He said, I want to travel June. I was like, first, no school is resuming June. He's like, first of all, no school is resuming June. So,
yes, it's very important.
And it's like, you are messaging me, you've not even learned the thing, You've already put yourself on a very short, unrealistic timeline.
It's not. It works like magic, but it's not magic. If you have the knowledge and you apply the knowledge, it works like magic. Otherwise, I mean, you have to have the knowledge and apply the knowledge for it to be so easy, and then be unbelievable to people around. But if you don't have the knowledge, it's not magic. There's no way you would start school search in February and travel in June. I mean, it can't be done.
And the person I'm not even like the person is still at the stage where they are about to start to get trained and all. I was like, please don't put yourself under that pressure. If you're on a time clock and you probably see how to do it faster, maybe go there. If it happens that it didn't work out, then come back and get trained, right? Then another person that was telling me that, I saw a school deadline. I can't remember what time he said he saw the school deadline. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks from now or something. I saw a school deadline. But if I start this training, I'll miss the school deadline. And I said, okay, what does it profit you to submit application and not get the admission, or to get it? You now see there is a wrong admission for visa, or you get the admission and your visa is not approved because you don't even know how to go about it. Like,
exactly.
I really hope that people don't put themselves under unnecessary pressure. If you are starting now, that's because maybe it is not that you graduated, maybe it is not that you got the money to start, maybe it's not that something whispered to you to relocate. That's fine. You can't over blame yourself for not starting 2 years ago, for not starting 3 years ago, But that thing they say, okay, when is the best time to plant a tree that will bear fruit? 3 years ago. When is the next best time? Now.
Now.
So
exactly.
now is the next best time. But people should learn that this is a process. It's not you start now, 24 hours, you land at the airport. We don't teleport. I wish maybe it would be so cool. Imagine it, right? Like you just face on Linda, you just disappear with your bag, you land at the airport. God, I would like that kind of a thing.
Honestly.
Seriously, I wish I can do that. See, like if I can do that on more, hey, I'll just be on it. Just like come to me, I make you teleport. But it's a process, right? It's a process, and that process takes time. On the average length of time, depending on where the person is going to, let's say UK is shorter to process. Canada has that 8 months to 1 year timeline. US is somewhere in between. But I would say on the average, you want to plan 6 to 12 months, depending on the country you're going to. 6 to 12 months is the timeline. So when people come and be telling me how they need to live in 2 weeks' time, I've already felt like in my mind, okay, you're not even our student, don't worry, be going. However, whether it's broom, you're looking for where to buy broom so that if you hold it, it's not what you're looking for.
Yes.
So I encourage people to be patient
taking this masterclass. I think I became more realistic. I understood the concept of time better, having undergone this training. Then you know the right time to start. You know what to look for, where to look. I mean, the knowledge I gathered from here is priceless. Thanks to you, Dr. Linda. The knowledge from this masterclass
Thank you for implementing it. So thank you so much, everyone who joined us for this interview. I hope you enjoyed it, right? There were so many lessons to learn from his story, from he shared I would say the mistake or something he didn't do well, which was starting his Canada application a little late, but he did the right thing by when it became impossible to continue because of the timing. Instead of sitting there and waiting, what did he do? He adapted himself to the situation. That's number one. Number two, he was only able to adapt because he was at the core flexible. So you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to be flexible in your choices. Permanent interest, no permanent route. All right. And then he talked about the things he learned from the masterclass, which you see that definitely is going to be of help to you. And above all, I love his story. I hope it inspires you as well to start your own study abroad process. For anyone watching this right now who is thinking of, okay, how do I get started? How do I get started? How do I get trained? Go to start from our free webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. www.vantagemigration.ca. Go there, attend our free webinar. Then you are going to see exactly how to get started. Okay, and definitely, if you finish and you have questions, we always respond to questions in our inboxes, in my inboxes on Instagram and on Facebook, specifically at Dr. Linda Iheme on Instagram. You can chat me up. It's a verified page on Instagram. Preferably chat on Instagram so that you make sure that you are chatting with the verified page, okay? At Dr. Linda Iheme. But I'm going to also include the link to the webinar, to the free webinar, at the description, on the description of this video, on the description of this video. So if you have not attended the webinar, follow the link, attend the webinar. If you've attended the webinar and you have more questions, chat us inbox, not as a comment on this video. Chat us inbox, and we'll be very happy to respond to you, all right? So thank you, and take good care of yourself. Did I introduce myself? Oh my God. My name is Dr. Linda Iheme. I'm an educational consultant with Vantage Migration. Myself and my team, we train graduates who want to relocate abroad on exactly how to secure admission, scholarship, study loan, and every other thing you need in order to successfully relocate. And people that we work with, they are often going to different high-income countries, be it UK, US, Canada, Australia, Poland, New Zealand, Ireland, so many countries. And we work with graduates, people who have minimum of BSc or HND. Or some people, of course, they will have masters. Maybe they're going for another master's or they're going for PhD. We work with you as well. And we work with you irrespective of your grade. So whether you have third class, second class lower, second class upper, first class, lower credit, upper credit, we work with you, okay? And So another thing is that sometimes I get people say, oh, do you work with only Ghanaians? Do you work with only Nigerians? Do you work with only Cameroonians? The answer is we work with anybody who speaks English. So, do you speak English? If yes, then we can work with you. that's the litmus test. That's how to know quickly whether we can work with you or not. It's not based on your country. It's based on whether you speak English or not. Do you speak English? Huh? Yeah? Then we work with you. That's it. So attend our free webinar to learn more, okay? And if possible, chat us inbox on Instagram at Dr. Linda Iheme, which is Dr. LindaIheme at Dr. Linda Iheme, written together. All right? Take care. Love you. This is Dr. Linda.